have to be delivered by March, so it'd be good to see that as soon as possible. My other question was to Hugh. In terms of the PeopleToo report that was done, my question really is, did that come up with anything very surprising that will really help us, or, as many reports often do into this kind of thing, did it really come up with things that we already knew about but hadn't been taking action on? How much value do you think that report has delivered for us?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point. We've been on with this transformation work for a period of time, couple of years plus. So there wasn't necessarily huge amounts of, of major big new ideas, but there was a lot of insight into the detail of the work that I think already probably knew that we had to do. What PeopleToo's done is it's added that insight and it's added capacity. Because, we're all kind of under the cosh and everybody's got a busy day job. And what you do when you get someone like this involved is you get some expertise of this kind of transformational work, and you get capacity to plug in to work alongside teams, alongside individuals, so that they can start to assess for themselves the good bits and the flaws in their day-to-day systems and processes, their practice and culture, and then start to apply little changes that then in the end will in total amount to big changes. So I think it's built on this premise of working bottom up. So it did provide us a very good analysis all in one place of everything that we suspected. It proved some things that we suspected but couldn't prove. It provided us with one report in one place with all of it in, very useful. But more importantly now is the ongoing work to drive the change in the systems.
Sorry, so there's been a kind of interactivity between PeopleToo and your teams to start moving on to the things that they're recommending that you do, rather than just handing over and saying this is what you think we should do.
I mean, we recognise the flaws in just doing a report and handing it over. It's about the capacity to deliver the change. So they're certainly with us until the end of the financial year, driving the short-term change that should deliver us the savings that we need in year. But then beyond that, I mean, we're speculating that there'll be a longer term piece of work that will be much more transformational and much more about driving system change, process change, culture change, in order that we can, and this is for us and the NHS and other colleagues working in our broader system, so we can really embed better ways of working that will be more cost effective and get, I know it's a cliche, but it's about getting things right first time, every time. And quite often people working operationally, it's not their fault, but they work in systems that prevent them from doing that. And so having this work with them alongside is going to enable them to recognise that, and then we can effect the changes necessary to make ourselves more lean and more efficient.
Only just to say, I think that the point is that the PeopleToo relationship's not just a consultancy, it's a delivery element, it's a partnership. So they're actually embedded within the teams, working side by side with them, putting into practice these ideas, and shall we say with skin in the game, as far as their own position is concerned. They need to see, we need to see the proof of the pudding in what comes through. And the other point about your numbers, yes, we will be able to share those. I was unsure, and we discussed, myself and Councillor Dyer, some of these numbers ought to be being shared through the other scrutinies, and they will also be, fully shared as part of any budget updates going forward. Interestingly, you might think it's all sort of pretty much late in the year, but actually, in the case of Hugh's work, because the PeopleToo mobilisation has only started relatively recently, a lot of those savings will be coming through in the last 3 months, won't they? Because it's such a huge service, £200 million service. Actually, it probably will be back-end loaded this year, won't it? So what we've done to date and what we'll do by the end of March, I think there'll be quite a big...
Yeah, so I suppose I was looking for confidence factor as well as where you actually are in terms of delivery.
So the confidence of 80% is the number today which people feel very confident about delivering. Some people say they can do better. Obviously last year was 66. So I'm sort of 80 feels about right. It's our corporate view of where we'll get to. That's against the total savings, which were 19 million plus another 4 because there were some corporate savings. So those 4 programs were 23 million. So we're 80% on the 23. Let's hope it's a bit better than that.
Okay, David.
Thank you, Chair.